In 2001, Blockbuster had the chance to buy Netflix for $50 million. They laughed it off. They thought it was a joke. 20 years later, Netflix was worth $300 billion, Blockbuster was dead, and the whole world was watching movies on a little red app. Netflix didn't just win, it rewrote the entire entertainment industry from scratch. But here's the question nobody wants to ask out loud right now. What if Netflix is making the exact same mistake Blockbuster made? What if the empire that destroyed every competitor it ever faced is quietly, slowly, losing its grip, not in one dramatic crash, but one bad decision at a time? Let's talk about what the numbers actually show. To understand what's changing, you have to first understand how dominant Netflix became. Netflix ended 2024 with over 301 million paid subscribers worldwide. It generated $39 billion in revenue that year, a 15.7% increase from the year before. It was spending $18 billion on content annually. It had more original series than any competitor on the planet. It had broken into live events, streaming boxing matches, NFL games on Christmas Day, and WWE programming. By almost every headline metric, Netflix looked like a company that had never been stronger. And for a long time, that was the whole story. Netflix grows. Netflix dominates. Netflix wins. But buried underneath those impressive revenue numbers are some cracks that are getting harder to ignore. In 2025, Netflix made a quiet but significant decision. It stopped reporting quarterly subscriber counts. The official reason? The company said it wanted to focus on revenue and engagement as more meaningful metrics. But analysts weren't buying the spin. Because the last numbers Netflix did report told an uncomfortable story. In Q3 2025, Netflix lost 2 percentage points of US market share year on year. Disney Plus gained 2 points. HBO Max gained a point. Hulu gained a point. Netflix still held second place in the US streaming market, but it was second place, behind Amazon Prime Video, which held 20% of the market. That trajectory matters. When the market leader stops telling you how many subscribers it has, and the competition is quietly closing the gap, that's not a sign of a company overflowing with confidence. That's a company changing the conversation before you can ask the uncomfortable questions. Netflix built its empire on content. Stranger Things, Squid Game, Bridgerton, The Crown. Show after show that didn't just attract subscribers, it created cultural moments. Water cooler conversation. Social media obsession. The kind of content that made people feel like they absolutely had to have a Netflix account. But here's what the data showed in 2025. Of every major returning English-language series on Netflix that year, almost every single one lost viewers compared to its previous season. The Witcher lost 52% of its viewers in its fourth season. The Recruit dropped 42% and was also cancelled. Only one show, Bridgerton, actually grew its audience season over season in 2024. That pattern is called audience erosion. And in 2025, it wasn't a one-off problem. It was described by analysts who track Netflix data as the new normal. Meanwhile, two of Netflix's biggest anchors, Stranger Things and Cobra Kai, both ended in 2025. Shows that had held millions of subscribers on the platform for years were gone. And the question the company hasn't fully answered is, what replaces them? Netflix is spending $18 billion a year on content. But spending more money does not guarantee producing fewer disappointments. And right now, the platform is burning through its legacy hits faster than it's creating new ones. Back in 2017, Netflix posted a tweet that read, "Love is sharing a password." The company was so confident in its growth at that point that it publicly encouraged account sharing. It saw it as free marketing, people getting hooked on Netflix through a shared account, eventually signing up on their own. Fast forward to 2023. Netflix reversed course entirely and launched an aggressive crackdown on password sharing. The company estimated that 100 million households worldwide were using someone else's account. It forced those users to either pay up or lose access. Short term, it worked. Netflix added over 9 million subscribers in just 1 quarter after the crackdown began. Revenue jumped. The stock soared. Investors celebrated. But the longer game is messier. When Netflix went after password sharers, It also went after goodwill. Users who had been loyal to the brand for years felt the rules had been changed on the mid-game. Cancellations spiked in several markets. In Spain, over 1 million users cancelled in the initial rollout period alone. Customer frustration surged. And in an industry where cancelling a subscription takes 30 seconds, frustration is expensive. Then in January 2025, Netflix raised prices again. The standard ad-free plan jumped to $17.99 a month. The premium plan reached $24.99. For context, in 2014, Netflix cost $7.99 a month. In 10 years, the price of the standard plan had more than doubled. Netflix's co-CEO Ted Sarandos said publicly, "When you're going to ask for a price increase, you better make sure you have the goods and engagement to back it up." That's the right instinct. In the first half of 2025, Netflix delivered 95.1 billion hours of viewing to its members globally. That sounds massive. And it is. But here's the detail that matters. The growth in viewing hours was coming entirely from having more subscribers, not from existing subscribers watching more. Netflix's own co-CEO admitted on an earnings call that per household engagement, how much each existing subscriber actually watches, had been flat for 2.5 years. The platform was getting bigger, but it wasn't getting stickier. And there's a reason for that. The single biggest show on Netflix in the first half of 2025, Squid Game Season 2, accounted for just 0.9% of total viewing hours on the platform. The top 10 shows combined drove only 9.4% of viewing time. That means over 90% of viewing hours were spread across a library that people were consuming in increasingly shallow, distracted ways. Meanwhile, YouTube, a free platform, was quietly eating into the hours that Netflix once owned. Short-form content, creator videos, and podcasts were pulling time away from long-form streaming faster than any competitor in the paid streaming space ever had. Everyone talks about the streaming wars as if the battle is Netflix versus Disney Plus versus HBO Maximum. And yes, those competitors matter. But that framing misses the actual threat. Netflix's real enemy isn't another subscription service. It's attention itself. TikTok, YouTube, Instagram Reels. These platforms don't charge a monthly fee. They don't require a login. They run on user-generated content that costs them almost nothing to produce. And they are consuming hours of screen time every day that Netflix used to own. A 17-year-old deciding how to spend 2 hours in an evening doesn't necessarily pick between Netflix and Disney Plus. They might not pick either. They open TikTok and 2 hours disappear before they've made a single conscious choice. Netflix is spending $18 billion a year trying to win a fight against platforms that spend essentially nothing on content and still win the evening. Netflix is not dying. Let's be honest about that. 301 million subscribers, $39 billion in annual revenue, and a content budget bigger than most countries' film industries, this is not a company in free fall. But the signs of an empire softening at the edges are real. The subscriber growth story being quietly retired. The content quality declining season over season. The price hikes testing loyalty. The engagement plateau. The free platforms eating into the hours that paid streaming once owned. Blockbuster didn't collapse on a single bad day. It eroded. While a scrappy little DVD buy mail company was rethinking the entire model from the ground up. Netflix disrupted Blockbuster by changing what entertainment looked like. The uncomfortable question now is someone about to do the same thing to Netflix? And if they are, will Netflix see it coming? Or will they be too busy raising prices to notice? We'll see you in the next one. If this has you thinking differently about the streaming platforms you're paying for every month, hit like. It genuinely helps this channel reach more people.